Oh yes, Nightmare Rarity. She's probably one of the best known comic exclusive characters, and definitely for a reason. The storyline surrounding her is one of the best the comics have to offer, and she's a big part of the reason why that's the case. But who is Nightmare Rarity, you might ask? Not every pony has read the comics after all. You may have heard of that name, but other than maybe a few fanarts, you probably have no knowledge about her. Let me do a quick rundown of who she actually is. The so-called Nightmare Forces who corrupted Luna, which caused her to become Nightmare Moon, weren't destroyed when the elements freed Luna from their grasp. No, they resided on the moon since then and waited for the perfect moment to strike, and take what was promised to them, a kingdom of their own. And when the moon was in the right position, they took the pony that was the easiest to corrupt, and that pony was Rarity. They abducted her to the moon, tortured her, and exploited her doubts, until they were able to overtake her and create Nightmare Rarity. If you want to know more about her story, I recommend my comic overview of the issues 5 to 8, even though you will hear some more here. But why do I think this concept is awesome? Simple. It gives an explanation for the existence of Nightmare Moon. She isn't only an angry princess, forces outside of her control were playing a big part. And the storyline also gives an explanation for Luna's design change, and with it, first steps to her forgiving herself. But not only that, but also Nightmare Rarity's character is a fantastic addition to Rarity's character. The normally so fabulous Rarity gets revealed to not just be a prissy pony. The insecurities that we get to see give us so much more on how her mind works. She was, according to Nightmare Rarity, the easiest to corrupt out of the main 6. She has these doubts about herself we never got to experience in the show. In her nightmare caused by the Nightmare Forces, her friends cast her aside, as soon as some pony else that has abilities in fashion shows up. This addresses the real issue of the fear to lose ponies close to you, the fear of not being needed. She feels like her only redeeming quality is her fashion sense, and that's the only reason why her friends hang out with her. She has to realize that there's more to their friendship than that. Also, the corruption was executed in a fantastic way, in a way the show never could. I mean, just look at the captured Rarity. The show would never show some pony in this kind of torture and despair position. This storyline addresses these insecurities better than the show ever did. And that is why I love the comics so much. They can do things the main show wouldn't even dare, which brings so much more to the entire franchise. Even when they finally get through to her and save her, she still is tearing up and doubting herself. And those aren't her normal whiny tears. Those aren't overdramatic. She is showing signs of actual trauma, feeling like she is invalid without her fabulousness. Like in real life, she needs friends and other trusted people to break through and finally realize the strength of her bonds anew. This villain, in the short time it existed, had a compelling and relatable story, with references to actual big problems Friendship is Magic never really addressed, while filling plot holes that Luna left. Even her reformation was carried out fantastically. She didn't just accept that she is good again now, it actually needed effort to convince her, not like with, for example, Sunset Shimmer. Even her behavior as a villain was used wonderfully cruel. I mean, trying to abuse Spike's crush on Rarity in a dream is a great plan. Spike really was bashed hard in this, physically and mentally. And I don't mind that. In the end, they used magic to transform the Nightmare Forces back to their original form. The critters who lived on the moon before. Which are awesome world building, I might add. I would have loved to see more of the connection between Luna and those creatures. But sadly, we don't get to see that. At least the storyline gives us an actual explanation on how Luna's design changes from her Season 1 design onto the later design with the waving hair. These events also address similar insecurities as the happenings around Rarity. She still feels bad for her past misdeeds as Nightmare Moon, and she has to accept her past. This was possible through the help of all the Ponyville ponies around her. They forgave her. They even accepted her as part of Ponyville. They gave her a second chance. Sadly, this kinda gets retconned by the show later, when she arrives in Ponyville to celebrate Nightmare Night, and all of town is scared of her. Regardless, I still love how she got through her problems, and how her confidence causes the design change. So both of these characters, Rarity and Luna, got through their problems with the help of ponies close to them. They may have different insecurities, but both of them realized that friends can help you through it. And none of this ever was explored in this show, only in the comics, and the comics have way more of these stories to offer. But before you check them out, let's talk about the Nightmare Forces. The lore around them is very vague, but what we know is that they were the reason Luna got corrupted. This provides a reasonable explanation for said corruption. Like Rarity, she had the base and insecurities that made it easy to take her over and transform her. This gives so much more character to Luna. She didn't completely become evil, only because she was grumpy and neglected, but because this neglect and underappreciation made her an easy target for the forces. This was a great way to redeem Luna, and it gave a great starting point for this comic. And as well as Luna and Rarity, the forces got reformed, which was a suitable end for the stories surrounding the corruption. The storyline had much to offer, in regards of character development and world building. But enough praising the comics for today. How about you? Have you read the issues? Do you agree or disagree with my opinion on Nightmare Rarity? Let me know, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and until next time, fellow bronies, brony fellas, and bye!